Hi, good morning. I like sitting in this little basement. It's a big basement. I like sitting in this cold basement. It's cold as hell. And pretending I'm watching like a detective, huh? Looking at this stuff from my own little cave. My own little black cave. Do 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 black man. Do 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 do. So today is kind of a special. You guys know how much I like Conspiracy Dude Fury's videos. They're just excellent. I'm not a big fan of the numbers and shit, but you know, somebody's gonna do them, fine. So today, you know, my opinion varies slightly from everybody's. You know, obviously everybody thinks I'm looking through a fucking crooked glass, and everybody wants to nudge me aside for a few seconds so they can peek through, which is fair, you know. So, you know, I do not have permission to use his video. Please. I want to do this. What happened to Lil Kim? Because this is one of the most important videos that hits the so-called black community, which is really the brown community, which is truthfully the Afro-Asiatic community. Alright? I focus on Negro because white man fuck up when he make statue showing Negro Indian. So you think what you want to think, and I'm going to use my little mushy sponge to think what I want to think. And in the meantime, we should all pray for brains, because nobody is above correction. That's why we're all going to face judgment. One way or the other, we're all going to line up for judgment day. If he tell you to get out of line and say he already judged you, you know, and so be it. So I'm gonna be back here, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and for the most part, we're gonna listen to him though. But my opinion varies at where I think is key points, you know, because it's my opinion. Inside my head, I think blah blah blah, right? So, you know.
Today's video was brought to you by a donation from a subscriber. She wanted to know, why do white women think they're better than black women? Now, being that this is such a delicate subject, I decided to ask her what was her stance on the topic, and whether she believes in fact that white women are actually better than black women. She replied by saying that black women have gone through so much more physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, and spiritually than white women, and black women have more history than white women. But she doesn't believe either one is better. She went on to say that black women are just stronger, well-versed in hair, skin, body, raising children, and cooking, and most notably, were once queens ruling dynasties. Now, this reminded me of the Lil Kim situation and the "we was kings" mentality that most black Americans have. Now, should the question be, do white women think they're better, or does American society think they're better? It seems that America would rather give a transgender a Woman of the Year award before they give it to a black woman. Even the YouTube Poon of the Year would rather say a white man is sexy before he says that to a black woman. Now, when we look at Lil Kim, she has practically turned herself into a white woman. I've never seen a white woman change themselves into a black woman. Yes, they will get nose jobs. Yes, they will tan and spray themselves brown. Some will even temporarily paint themselves black. Others will get lip injections, butt implants, and even breast implants. But we can still tell it is a white woman. So does this mean that people like Lil Kim hate themselves and want to be white? I don't believe it's that simple. For example, we have black men who perm their hair and even wear weaves. Does that mean they hate themselves? What about the black men that bleach their skins or that are cross-dressers? Does this mean that they hate themselves and want to be white or want to be a woman? Absolutely not. If someone changes their appearance for whatever reason, and then to have someone say they hate themselves, which includes mind, body, and soul, is completely ridiculous. Simply put, most people want what they can't have, or they just don't like certain physical attributes they have, or they want to follow a trend to fit into what the current standard of beauty is. The problem is people like Lil Kim take things too far. And when a person is unrecognizable and has a history of changing faces, it makes you wonder if that person was replaced.
Alright, so when we watch Conspiracy Dude on a constant, we do understand that he has what is called the replacement theory. That some people get so big that they will not follow their masters, that they get replaced. Well, that's fine. We do have talk of cloning from this channel. Hey, that's fine. But you're not going to find too many more people with a higher intelligence and willingness to not inject themselves into this situation. Now, that's why I take the video and give my 2 cents, injecting myself into this situation. So the key to me liking CDF is that his thoughts are very intelligent, and they're completely, I wouldn't say completely, there are a lot of main points that are opposite mine, and there are a lot of points I just never even thought of. Well, so let's listen.
Alright, so let's take a look at what happened to Lil Kim. Now, there are a couple bullet points that I want to discuss. The first is white women do it too. What about LGBT? Self-hate or self-improvement? Who's black and who's white? He tamed me. Black men venting on YouTube. The black woman is God. Where's the positive reinforcement? A closer look. White women are better. And lastly, my final thoughts. Alright, so in this section, I just want to discuss that white women do not innately fit this.
For this, we'll try to go full screen. No idea how my crappy 10-year-old or older computer will work. Alright, so you see the woman has little nubs on the tip of her nose, so she wanted those taken off.
Standard of beauty that's promoted by the mainstream media. So yes, they will go out and get lip injections, butt injections, breast
Yeah, see, my computer just can't handle that. Hold on.
breast implants, and even nose jobs, because they have an ideal look that they're trying to attain. It's not because they hate themselves. It's not because they're trying to be black or a different ethnicity. So let's go ahead and take a look at these images. So here we have a picture of Courtney Love, who had a nose job. Here's a picture of Nicole Kidman. Here's a picture of Scarlett Johansson. Here we have Shakira. Here we see Ashley Simpson. Here we have Elsa Pataki. Here we have Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Connelly. And here's a picture of a random woman who got a nose job because she simply didn't like the way her nose looked. Here's another random person. And here's another. So here on this website called Topics, it says, why do white women tan, get butt implants, and lip injections? One user says, wait a minute, I know this one, because they want to be black. Then a user responds by saying, nope, I don't think white women want to be black, no more than black women want to be white. But in this country, the new beauty standard is big booty, big hips, tiny waistline, full lips, long hair, big double D's, and tan skin. So many women are trying to live up to this standard, everybody. But when blacks and whites get into it on this forum, we point out things like black women wear weave, white women tan and get lip injections, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, all women are just trying to look good to get the attention of men. It's that simple. Well, let me make a correction there for this user. I believe that women are trying to compete with other ethnicities and also get attention from women more than they're trying to get attention from men, because it's very easy to get the attention of men. I don't think women are trying to look good for men specifically. That's my opinion. You can leave your comment below. But from my research, that is what I've found to be true. Now another user says racists constantly disrespecting black women, but white women constantly trying to look more black. Do white women hate themselves? Person responds by saying, yeah, it's pretty sad. Black women have been degraded for centuries because we naturally have round asses and full lips, and now when white women get those things, it's considered hot. I think what it comes down to is the fact that most people are unhappy with what God gave them. Shit, if I had a flat ass and thin lips, I wouldn't care to get implants or injections. But it's the same reason why black women get bone straight weave that can't even pass for natural. Everyone wants what they don't have. And I think that pretty much sums up the reasoning behind people getting things that they don't naturally have. They just want what they can't have.
No, I'm going to stop you right there. I disagree. I do not think it has to do with people want what they can't have. We live in the society of get. When you look at a series of photos, how he displays them, and you look at the profile of the women, and one woman has a nose that goes up and hooks in and then goes to the bridge, and it's their ethnicities. They're actually getting their ethnicities clipped away. And that's what we're not seeing. All those starlets in another series of pictures, those starlets that he put up, those Hollywood harlots, right? All of them had nose jobs. So there is a cut clip procedure that happens in the Caucasus, okay? And in the black world, there is a burn, right? So to the face of the Caucasus, they clip their identity. To the melanated people, they burn their identity. You saw the kid, he burned his face and he looked like a ghost. He still had his afro. You saw Lil Kim, she burns her face, she looks like a ghost. She gets rid of her afro, she looks now Caucasus. Does it really have to do with white versus black? Yes. I sat right here with my mom and asked her, do you feel the way he's saying? She says no. I say, I do not either. I say, can you express why you do not feel what he's saying? She doesn't really have the way to put it in words yet because she hasn't really thought about how to formulate the sentence for this. Unfortunately, I've been formulating this sentence on every facet and every degree. They control your resources, they control your land, they control the TV, the news print, each magazine to a great degree. They control who plays on the basketball, they control who plays on the tennis. They control images. When you want your nose clipped, you go to their doctor. When you want your hair burnt, you use these toxins from their companies. Olean, gasoline, Vaseline. All of these things have been done to break you from what God gave you. Caucasus women clip their fathers' and mothers' heritage right off their face. Afro peoples burn their heritage and their what? Their flesh. The melanated skin protects you from the sun, and these people go and burn it away for what? Vanity. Why vanity? Because he who controls the society controls what's beautiful. If white women wanted to look like black women, this bubble butt shit would have happened years ago. We would be at this point 30 years ago. It's nothing to do with that. It has to do with the puppet master. and you accept the programming of the puppet master. I'm going to tell you why. It has to do with the final thing you say. Everyone wants what they don't have. Bullshit. We are the most spoiled society that's ever existed on earth. Whether ruled by man or ruled by entity, we are the greediest. Everyone wants what they don't have now. Everyone's got everything that they want. When you go to that grocery store, you don't buy that $20 piece of meat because you want 7 other fucking things that you can still buy for that $20. You got too much shit. You got so much shit you don't know how to hold on to the shit you have. What is the point of life? To maintain. To keep something, you must maintain it. You're out there washing your chariot once a week. Are you out there washing your car more than you wash your ass? Because you love that fucking car. You got that car in the shop a couple times a month. You don't have any problems at all, but you're always maintaining because you love that car. You get one car, then you get another car. Now you got 3 shitty cars outside, and the whole time you're thinking about, oh, I want that Trans Am. You could have fucking took all 3 of those cars and got the Trans Am. You don't want the fucking Trans Am. You want to have gluttony. And we don't see it that way. We refuse to see it that way. Everyone wants what they don't have. No. We're so fucking spoiled. Once we get our hands on what we think we desire, we no longer want it. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Right? So, this dude burns his image away, walking around like a fucking ghost. Now, everybody takes the time to say, ha ha ha. He goes into white society, what he burned his image for in the first place, and they look at him like, oh my God, is he sick? Does he have cancer? Now you look unnaturally. And that's what people don't accept. That's what people don't accept. They do not accept when they look unnatural. They call it beauty. I'm sure if I had a gigantic fucking nose and I looked in the mirror every day, I'd be like, wow, I want something different. I'm embarrassed by this. But have I ever wasted the money on that? Have I ever succumbed to the vanity of it? I've had my eyes cut into like women get their chest cut into. I no longer wear glasses. Where does that fall on the line? There are stipulations against people that wear glasses in the society, and it is hard for people that wear glasses in the society to do active things because there's a chance the spectacles on their face could fall off and then they could not see as well as they could before. But in a conversation about vanity, an argument of glasses seems shallow. Of all words to use, we're talking about fake tits, fake ass, fake lips, nose cut up, hair burned, thousands of dollars put into their hair, skin cream, and I'm talking about glasses. These shallow actions that these people do in this conversation make glasses seem shallow. So, again, I believe a little differently. I believe it has to do with us being spoiled. Again, is Israel a spoiled slave? A houseboy.
It's not that black women are trying to be white. It's not that white women are trying to be black. It's not that black women think they're better than white women. And it's not that white women think they're better than black women. Simply put, society has created a standard of beauty that both black women and white women are trying to attain. Alright, so in this section, I'm going to ask the question.
That's true, because if it had to do with better, then it has to do with the product produced at birth, truthfully. Now, if people resent their product that they were seeking, we call everything a product. We got barcodes, we got fucking numbers to everything. We, as humans born in this society, are placed on the UCC code, right? So it does have to do with product. When people are unhappy about product, then they can't say that I'm better than you, because you've already cut into the product. You've already burned things out of the product. You've had to try to upgrade the product to compete. As he stated, it's a competition. Vanity is a competition.
What about the LGBT community? I think a lot of people have come to the conclusion that because a person changes their lifestyle or their outer appearance, then it must mean they hate themselves. And I think the LGBT community proves that is incorrect. These people absolutely love themselves. So let's take a look at a couple of famous lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transsexuals. Here we have Italian designers Dolce & Gabbana. Here we have the famous Italian designer Giorgio Armani. Here we have the model Tila Tequila. Here we have rapper turned actress Queen Latifah. Here we have the talk show host Ellen DeGeneres. Here we have the transsexual actress Laverne Cox. Here we have Alexis Arquette. Here we have the transsexual actress Isis King. Alright, so now let's continue to look at this idea of self-hate and juxtapose it to this subjective type of self-improvement. So in this image that I found on the internet of what looks like an African American, we have him going from black to white. But the question is, does he actually think he is white? And I doubt that, but I think this is a very interesting caption for these three images. And then we have the Jamaican dancehall musician who bleached his skin and tattooed his eyeball. So on the right hand side we have Alkaline and we have Corey Dip. Now the person that bleached their skin and tattooed their eyeballs is named Alkaline. And here is a close-up image of him. Now I'm assuming that he believes that he has improved his looks. Personally, I don't.
Let's not leave out all this tattoo shit that he got on his neck and throat now.
Agree. I think it looks horrible. I mean, this black eye is not something that looks attractive, I don't think. This kind of reminds me of the very creepy close encounters that people have been reporting of black-eyed children in the paranormal community. But I'm pretty sure if you ask this guy, Alkaline, does he think he looks good? He's probably going to say he thinks he looks good. And then here we have a picture of Vybz Kartel, a man who bleached his skin. He is a reggae artist. And I think he looks okay. He looks okay. He's not ugly. He's not handsome. He looks okay. But if you ask me, I would say he should have just stayed brown skin. You know, his face looks a bit bigger. Maybe he put on some weight. But I don't think it's a look for him. And then his lips are not really matching with his light skin complexion. It's just not looking good. And then we have the pictures of Sammy Sosa. Now, if you were to ask me personally, I would say that he looked better originally. Brown skin, brown and pink lips, brown eyes. He looked fine. But I'm pretty sure if you were to ask Sammy Sosa, hey, how do you feel? Do you think you look better? Pretty sure he's going to say, yes, I look better. I feel great. So
yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try to pick on people or anything like that. But that is a rich pigment. And you can see, you know, what's going on. You have to ask yourself, why would he do this? You're a sports star, you make a bunch of money. Why would you strip away your skin? Now listen, I want you to think about something. You repaint a car. You take the original paint off, right? And you strip it down to what? the metal underneath, right? And then you get ready to paint your car, and then you get really busy. All right, I'm gonna leave that right there. And you know, maybe you got it, maybe you didn't.
Again, this is a type of subjective self-improvement. And then we have Nicki Minaj. She went from a copper color skin tone to what looks like a beige skin tone, very light skinned. So
here's okay, so another wealthy person or well-to-do person based on their quote-unquote talents versus the system. And here again you can see somebody that has rich mocha skin, and now they are ghost-ish now.
Again, I do think that she feels she looks better, and pretty sure she feels great, but this is not self-improvement to me. I think she looked better in her original state. Copper color skin tone, full lips, broad nose. So again, this is a type of subjective self-improvement. And then here we have Rihanna. She went from a very brown copper color skin tone to very light skinned. Now, is she trying to be a white woman? I wouldn't say she's trying to be white. I'm not sure why people keep equating changing your skin tone to trying to be white.
Okay, so let's take his angle. Let's say Rihanna's not trying to look white. Is her hair burnt? Yes. Is her skin lighter? Yes. Does that lead people to the conclusion that she's trying to look white? Yes. Now, let's listen to his angle. Maybe she's not trying to look white. Maybe she's trying to look light-skinned, high yellow, or yellow. Now, we have to ask ourselves then, why would anyone with rich, beautiful, dark skin, why would they want to look yellow? Here, I'll phrase it a different way. I'll phrase it in a way that you've heard on this channel. Why would she want to take her skin that looks more like the Egyptian? Why would she want to take her skin that looks like the Egyptian? And why would she want to make it light skin like the people on the walls underneath the Egyptians that look like shepherds? Let's just hear it from his approach, but you know, with my little twist.
As if white people are the only people that have white skin. And we're going to get into color in a bit because they're not even white, but let's just use that term for now. There's a difference between trying to attain white beauty standards to actually trying to be a white woman. Here we have a picture of Beyonce. She went from a very copper color skin tone to a very light complexion. And here we have an image of Iman Muhammad, a Somalian fashion model. She went from brown skin to very, very light skin. Now here's something that's very disturbing. Fertility company encourages African couples to have biracial babies to turn Africa into a dreamland. It says here, half-caste babies is a new world of mixed-race babies formed with the aim of bridging the vast racial gap between Africa and the rest of the world. We make racial integration possible not only by marriage, but also by birth. Gone are the days when to give birth to a mixed-race baby by an African is only through interracial marriage. Now any African couple, single woman, etc., hoping to have a half-caste baby and thereby promote world integration can freely and easily have one.
Now, here it is right there. Mixed-raced, half-caste, caste system. Half the rules of the caste system apply, half the rules of the caste system don't. That's the real game. Do you see it? The caste system. White supremacy.
This is the beginning of a new, better Africa, and it all starts with just a simple but bold decision: giving birth to a mixed-race baby through artificial means of conception. In this new world, all that matters is love and care. Now, this article continues to say, while half-caste babies positions itself as a positive entity that will transform Africa into a dreamland, the real goal is quite nefarious. If successful, half-caste babies would effectively help to destroy bloodlines of black people through Africa, making them appear more European in the process.
That's right, and it is the new wave of apartheid on African soil, which I don't give a shit about, not one way or the other. Because Africa don't care about me. Now, you see this half-caste thing, transformation, apartheid took place in Africa. Africa was not, quote-unquote, colonized to the degree that the Americas were. Right? So, legal marriage in a world court, that's right. You play that game. That white woman rules because she has white skin, and she'll win in an African court. That means, slowly but surely, little pockets of land then fall into her name instead of the African's name. Now, that's different from here. Here, nigga don't own a goddamn thing because the white man has successfully colonized all land here. Here, through interracial marriage, you slowly but surely gain your land back through marriage. Funny how shit works.
Though the company claims to...
Again, and white male DNA do not come out of the Americas, it comes out of Africa. White male DNA that rules through Europe does not come out of Europe. It comes out of Africa. Now, how could white people come from black skin, red skin, whether it be Negro or Mongolian? Through leprosy.
Want to unite Africa with the world by bridging the racial gap. One look at the gallery of donors show that this is not quite true. All of the donors on the website are white. Moreover, half-caste babies is not targeting their message of racial mixing to white Africans. They are purposely attempting to appeal to black couples instead. The message is clear. A new, better Africa can only be achieved if black Africans no longer exist. So here's another article about the same topic. It claims fertility clinic in Ghana urges couples to have biracial babies for better future of Africa. The sad part is, in general, white folks don't feel the same about having mixed babies through artificial insemination. Here on this website, Pix11, it says white woman suing after being inseminated with sperm from black donor. It says here, Jennifer Cramblett says she loves biracial child, but was not culturally prepared to raise her. Now, segueing back to the skin bleaching epidemic, we have Gossip.com claiming that nearly 77% of Nigerian women use skin lightening products. They go on to say it's an unbelievable number. Nearly 77% of Nigerian women, the highest percentage in the world, use skin whitening products on a regular basis, according to the World Health Organization. Skin whitening products represent one of the rapidly growing segments in the global beauty industry, with the concept of beauty in the 21st century revolving around a flawless and fair complexion. There is rising discrimination based on color. Skin lightening is big business in Africa, especially Nigeria. Here we have Al Jazeera reporting Nigeria's dangerous skin whitening obsession. Nigeria has the world's highest percentage of women using skin lightening agents in the quest for beauty. Here we have actor Taye Diggs stating that skin bleaching in Jamaica needs to be looked into, and he was shocked to learn that Jamaicans are bleaching their skin. Here's a picture of a Jamaican woman with her face a very raw pinkish color from bleaching her skin.
Look at that shit. Right?
Skin. Here's a picture of a Jamaican woman.
Like a pig's ass. Now you see what's going on? Look at her fucking hair. She's wearing a wig. Do you understand? Look at her hairline. It don't exist. There are not little pieces of hair coming up to form that. That is a wig. She gave away her flesh and heritage. Look at her teeth. Gold teeth. Do you see how it's a what? A sliding scale. It starts with this, it leads to that. It starts with this, it leads to that.
With her face a very raw pinkish color from bleaching her skin. Here's a video about skin bleaching in Jamaica. I do recommend you check it out.
Now again,
here's a video.
They're about to bleach the woman's skin. Well, what the fuck is going on with her hair?
Skin. Here's a video about
skin bleaching in Jamaica, and she's got fucking a wig on. Do you see what's going on? She's not happy with her image. She's not happy being part of the brown skin race that calls herself black. It starts with the hair. It leads to the skin. It affects the soul. It is a what? A condition in the mind. Your mind says we must do this to our hair. Then your mind says we must do this to our skin. This is how it starts. This is how it ends.
Face a very raw pinkish color from bleaching her skin. Here's a video about skin bleaching in Jamaica. I do recommend you check it out. Here's a video of how they mix the bleaching cream in Jamaica. Here Fox News reports skin bleaching is a growing problem in Jamaican slums. Here the website The Griot claims skin lightening is serious
business. You see that? They want to get out of the slums. They want to stop being niggas so bad.
Here Fox.
So bad. They'll burn their fucking skin over and over and over again until they got no melanation. Then they look what? Odder than fucking albinos.
Face a very raw pinkish color from bleaching her skin. Here's a video about skin bleaching in Jamaica. I do recommend you check it out. Here's a video of how they mix the bleaching cream in Jamaica. Here Fox News reports skin bleaching is a growing problem in Jamaican slums. Here the website The Griot claims skin lightening is serious business in India. TheDailyMail.com claims, "Do you want to be white?" A Korean skincare brand sparks backlash by posing controversial question on a billboard in New York. And here's an image of the billboard ad. The article continues by saying, regardless, the brand, which sells its products mainly in Korea, China, Hong Kong, and Japan, clearly plays into its target market's quest for lighter skin.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a question. Why would they be in China broadcasting bleach your skin if everybody in China's fucking pale? Regardless the brand which sells its products mainly in Korea, why would they be in Korea selling their product if everybody's fucking pale? Why would they be in Hong Kong, China? Why would they be in Japan? This is the big secret. If still in Mexico today there are more dark-skinned people with afros than there are Mexicans, there are more pre-Hispanic, pre-Columbian Hispanics, Negroes in Mexico than there are Mexicans. Why do you only see Mexicans when they talk about Mexico? Why do you only see light-skinned people of what we call Asian, which is really Hamites? These are fucking Hamitic bloodlines, and you don't even know what the fuck's going on. Why are they shaking the nigga tree if ain't no niggas in China? I will take you from the four corners and spread you to the four corners. And when it's time, I will draw you back from the four corners and bring you back to the four corners. But not if you hate me. Not if you burn the image away that I gave you. Not if you worship another god. Not if your vanity exceeds your what? Your love.
By saying regardless, the brand, which sells its products mainly in Korea, China, Hong Kong.
In every black neighborhood, there's a motherfucking Oriental, right? Even though the blacks are the Orientals, right? The Afro-Asian. There's a Hamite that's either Korean or from Hong Kong, or he's a Japanese person, or it's a Chinese person, and they got a market, and they selling hair. And I bet on one shelf in that hair salon, little store, I got one right around the corner. I bet they got skin bleaching, skin whitening cream.
Hong Kong and Japan clearly plays into its target market's quest for lighter skin. Here we have the Griot claiming that skin bleaching creams are linked to diabetes. Here are some of the disadvantages of skin whitening: high blood sugar, pigmentation alterations, and mercury poisoning. Alright, so in this section we're going to be speaking about who's black.
Hey, hold on.
Pigmentation alterations and mercury poisoning.
Now, once upon a time when I started this video, I thought I heard the word entity. And then I was like, no, entity, really? So when I hear the phrase or term entity, or word entity, that always sends up a red flag in my mind. So like when I get that red flag, and not a white flag, because I'm not fucking surrendering, it says mercury is banned for use in skin creams in the United States. So United States kicked this dude out, right? Of course not, right? You gotta understand what's going on. Oh, pardon me. Now, when in Rome, right? Okay, so Rome is a major theme here in the United States, even though we like to pretend it's not. Mercury is a Roman god, being one of the dia consentes with the ancient Roman pantheon. He is the patron god of financial gain. Is that what's actually worshipped here in America? Mammon. He is the patron god of commerce, trade, financial gain. Okay, commerce. Elegance, there you have vanity, and thus poetry. Then you have artists, right? Messages and communication. Then you have what the railroad, pretty much messages. Railroad started the telegraph. I think that's how it went, right? Including divination. We're ruled by witches, druid witches. Travelers, the Pope sent his army over here to take our land. Boundaries. North America is broken into 3 different regions: Canada, North America, and Mexico. Luck. We bullshit ourselves a lot with casinos here. Trickery and wait, get off my screen. Trickery and thieves. Oh, okay. Do I even have to go into this one? Trickery and thieves. You're African American. You're from Africa. Right? Everybody knows that one, right? Come on, do we trickery and thieves. Now, okay, well, Anybody know how Pennsylvania got created? Anybody ever hear of the Walking Stick Treaty? It's a treaty that William Penn made a deal with some Indians. You walk this way, you walk this way, I walk this way. Walking stick or walking purchase or walking treaty was purported in 1737 agreement between the Penn family and the proprietors of Pennsylvania and the Lenape Indians. Alright, so these are the Delaware Indians that recorded Indian language, right? When we go here, and there's the Peacock tribes, we go down, I think it's section 25, right? 24, 25. Okay, here's the Lenape or Delaware Indians right here. Okay, so this is what they're talking about. The Lenape, also known as the Delaware. By it, the Penn family and proprietors claimed an area of 1,200,000 acres. This is brought to us by M.L. Smith. And forced the Lenape to vacate it. So this is why they're the Delaware Indians. They were forced over the Delaware by a bullshit treaty by the Penn family, and this is how Pennsylvania was formed. Okay, Lenape appealed to the Iroquois for aid on the issue, was refused. In Delaware Nation versus Penn, right? The Delaware Nation, one of the three federally recognized Lenape tribes, claimed 314 acres of land, included in the original purchase, but the U.S. District Court granted the Commonwealth's motion to dismiss it. Right? It ruled that the case was non-justicable, although it acknowledged that the Indian title appeared to have been extinguished by fraud. So the Indian's title was extinguished. It was put out by fraud. Okay, so even though they're not telling you what that directly means right away, basically, in 2004, the courts ruled that the formation of Pennsylvania was basically an illegal act produced by an act of fraud by the Penn family. Thus, ruling held through the United States Courts of Appeals, the United States Supreme Court refused to hear the case. Right, because if they hear the fucking case, they gotta say, oh, Pennsylvania is unjustly formed. Whereas the true court in the United States is in Pennsylvania. That means the true court of the United States would no longer fucking exist on U.S. soil. You gotta understand how big this shit is. And M.L. Smith brought this up. William Penn enjoyed a reputation for fair dealing with the Lenape. However, his heirs, John Penn and Thomas Penn, abandoned many of their elders Penn's practices. So I've been blaming this on William Penn for the whole time, and it's John Penn and Thomas Penn did this. All right. In 1737, they claimed a deed from 1686, which by the Lenape promised to sell a tract beginning at the junction of the Delaware River and Lehigh River, modern eastern Pennsylvania, and extended as far west as a man could walk in a day and a half. Now listen, so that's eastern, right? So they gave them eastern plus however the distance one man could walk in a day and a half. Now, if you've seen Pennsylvania, you understand the size of Pennsylvania is gigantic, lengthwise. Now, this is from east to west. He wasn't trying to, pace north to south, right? Oops, go back. It says this document may have been an unsigned, unratified treaty or even an outright forgery. Now, this document isn't a document, it's a verbal agreement. That's why it's called the walking treaty or walking agreement. Go back up here. It's called the walking purchase, walking treaty. Okay, so the deed that they claimed that they had was either unsigned, the document may have been unsigned, unratified treaty, or even an outright forgery that they had from 1680 something. What do you say, 1680 something? I lost it. It's okay. Anyway, now I see it says 17 there, but I thought it said 1600 something. Right, yeah, 1686. My bad. All right, so we go up here, further down. It extends as far west as a man could walk in a day and a half. This document could have been refers to it as a land swindle. The Encyclopedia Britannica refers to it as a land swindle. Okay, the Penn's agent began swindling land in the Lehigh Valley to colonists when the Lenape still inhabited the area. To allay the Lenape's misgivings, Penn Land Office agent James Logan produced a map misrepresenting the farther Lehigh River as the relatively close Tohicon River, and including a dotted line showing a seemingly reasonable path that the walkers would take. Satisfied that the land in question was not so terrible a price to honor the old deed the Lenape finally signed. Okay, so you know how when you have a presentation, you know, you bring aids? They brought an aid, but the aid that they brought, they lied about the river system and they knew better. And this is why Encyclopedia Britannica calls it a land swindle. Now, according to the popular account, Lenape leaders assumed, shut up. Lenape leaders assumed about 40 miles was the longest distance that could be covered under these conditions. No, a man walking 40 miles in a day and a half? I don't know. In modern day, man, 20 miles can be reached, but you know, you're exhausted. That next day and a half is bullshit. You ain't gonna get up. Provincial Secretary Logan, the legend continues, hired 3 of the fastest runners in the colony. See, as far as a man could walk, these guys hired runners. Edward Marshall, Solomon Jennings, and James Yeats to run on a prepared trail. They were supervised by the they were supervised during the quote-unquote walk. So they hired runners to run, and they were supervised by what? The sheriff of Bucks County. Right? The walk occurred on September 19th, 1737. Only Marshall finished. See, what does that mean, finished? See, it's walk as far as you can. So basically it's saying only Marshall could walk a day and a half. Reaching the modern vicinity of present-day Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, 70 miles away at the end of the walk. Sheriff Smith drew a particular line back towards the northeast and claimed all the land east of these 2 lines ending at the Delaware River. The results in an area of 100,200,000 acres, roughly the equivalent to the size of Rhode Island, located in the modern counties of Pike, Monroe, Carbon, Schuylkill, Northampton, Leahy, and Bucks. Delaware leaders appealed for the assistance of the Iroquois Confederacy, who claimed hegemony over the Delaware. The Iroquois leaders declined decided that it was not in their best interest politically to intervene on the behalf of the Delaware. So they decided not to stick up for them. James Logan had already made a deal with the Iroquois to support the colonial side, right? Selling each other out. As a result, played on both sides by Tigler Pilsler, right? I'm just saying, he's not Tigler, but you know what I'm saying. As a result, the Lenape had to vacate the walking purchased land. All right, so there we have that story, right? So let's go back. And we were at Mercury. Tricksters and thieves. How many other states do you think are formed off of theft, rape, and murder? What if I told you 50 states were formed off of theft, rape, and murder? Why is Hawaii part of the United States? Right? Do I need to go back and show you the image of King Kamehameha that I showed you yesterday? If I show you Montezuma, and Montezuma's a nigga. If I show you King Kamehameha, and Kamehameha's a nigga. And you watch Dragon Ball Z, and he goes, Kamehameha! Right? Help me, nigga! That's what he's saying. Asking for help. That's why you see all these fucking superheroes. For the most part, they're all Caucasian. And all their sidekicks are black. Every time they get their ass kicked, they call a black man for help. They call a brown man for help in the society that plays black and white checkerboard. So their god is Mercury. You think I'm lying? Or don't we deal with financial gain, commerce, vanity, elegance, and thus poetry, messages and communicate? Hold on, I'm getting a text. Including divination. My TV's on right now. Travelers, boundaries. Come on. You gotta pay to drive on the interstate. Expressways are free, but interstates, other things, you know. Luck. They gave those bastard Indians that sold each other out fucking casinos, right? So now they play with the game of chance. They're playing Mercury. Trickery. They teach you lies through schools. And thieves. And you just saw me read how the Delaware Indians aren't even the Iroquois Indians had control over Delaware, and these Lenape Indians were forced to live in Delaware because of what? Because of the trickery that went on with the fucking Penn family after William Penn died. Come on, man. Wake up, man. And that's what's going on. Mercury poisoning. It's an entity. Too much of this fucker in you drives you insane.
Alright, so in this section we're going to be speaking about who's black and who's white. Now apparently, people in America are stuck in the color matrix. Either the majority of people are completely ignorant, or they are colorblind. The fact of the matter is, nobody is black and nobody's white. Many people believe black people are being called black because of their skin color, and white people are being called white because they have white skin. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but let me introduce you to the color white. And now here is the whitest person I could find on Google. Do you see that this white person isn't actually the color white? Isn't that interesting? Now let's take a look at the color black. And here is the blackest person I could find on Google. What do you know? This black person isn't actually black. So what does black mean and what does white mean? Black and white is referring to status. It is not referring to your...
South Africa Chinese become niggas. You seeing this? Right. The High Court in South Africa has ruled that Chinese South Africans are to be reclassified as black people. Whoa! Now they leave Africa. They've been reclassified in the colonial system. If they come to America, they is niggas. And you don't even fucking see what's going on. Every title you get proud with. They called you black to say you can't fucking get a foothold in court. Right? They call you black because this is how the Moors treated them. Your pale ass is black. Your pale ass has been bleached. And bleach means you're now colorless. You're black. White remnant, meaning gowns, remnant gowns, means what? Holy. So they classify themselves as holy, and they classify you as rainbowless. See, color means you are what? You're a shade of the rainbow. Black is colorless. Have you ever seen a black stripe in the fucking rainbow? Have you ever seen a white stripe in the rainbow? No. These two quote unquote colors are actually colorless. Gray is a gradient of black and white. See, this is what people don't respect. This is why you gotta pay a university to be fucking taught this, or you gotta go spend your time in the library. Because we're nothing but children, and black and white are crayons in a Crayola box. The only things that are on us that are black and white are our hair for some people, our pupils for others, and teeth. Yet, most men, women, and children in colonized society run around calling themselves fucking caste system titles. Do I need to rewind the video back to where it says half caste children? Caste system. You have been brainwashed to think in a fucking caste system. You think it's okay. You're fucking cattle. You don't respect that. Cattle can be cut down at any time that somebody's what? Hungry.
Skin complexion. Some people will argue and say, well, I'm still calling myself black because I'm in opposition to white people and white supremacy. And I'm like, okay, so that means you don't have a nationality, you don't belong.
Black power fuels white supremacy. School systems get money by you showing up to homeroom. Nobody gives a fuck if you pass or fail unless they're playing competition for that state, that extra state money. Which turns out to be a lot. It's about participation. Are you black? Are you white? Other. Leave me the fuck alone. This is what we don't understand. You get mad at the basketball coach for kicking you off the team, then you don't do anything basketball, right? You don't show up at the game. You don't show up at practices. You kind of sort of don't hang out with the players anymore. You do not participate.
And I'm like, okay, so that means you don't have a nationality, you don't belong to an ethnic group, so that means you're outside of the human family, so that makes you an artificial person, and basically you're not real. You are a color. So look, again, I'm not here to convince anyone to call themselves a particular name. I'm just saying, you're stuck in the color matrix. They're not white, you're not black. Anybody that understands color can look at a so-called black person and see that they have a copper color skin tone or brown skin. If you look at a so-called white person, you can see that they have a mixture of beige and pink, but they're not white. So why do people think, oh, they're racist because I'm black, because of my skin color? Nobody cares about your skin color. They care about your status. Now, with that said, let's go into this section. Here we have the BBC reporting that South Africa Chinese become black. The High Court in South Africa has ruled that Chinese South Africans are to be reclassified as black people. I want that to sink in a little bit. Take a deep breath. You so-called African Americans that claim they're racist because of my skin color. How do you explain the fact that Chinese are being called black? I'll wait. Here on Yahoo Answers it says, why do Russians call Chechens and Caucasians blacks? Wait, let me read that again. Why do Russians call Chechens and Caucasians blacks?
Oh, because Russians don't play that. This supremacy system with Caucasians. Because Russians know that the Caucasians that they deal with are fucking what? Arabs. The Persians.
I want that to sink in a little bit. These Chechens and Caucasians, if you were to see them, you would call them white in America. But in Russia, they're called black. I want you so-called African Americans to think about that. You're running around screaming, black power, black pride, black economics. Do you even know what black means? How do you explain why Chechens and Caucasians are called blacks in Russia? Now here's a very interesting comment I'm going to read for you guys. It says, I'm an ethnic Russian. Ethnic Russians, that is to say real Russians, are Slavic and therefore white. In Russia, as well as the rest of Europe, the term Caucasian is not used to denote the white ethnicity. Instead, the term white or European is used. Having said that, faces of Caucasian ethnicity is a term used to describe the people living in the Caucasus region, and Russians call all people of Caucasian ethnicity black, not white. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Chechen and
No. Don't fucking skip that. Are Middle Eastern people. They're fucking Arabs. They're Persians. And Russians call those people of the Caucasus family black. See, this is the hugely important part.
Eastern people, and Russians call all people of the Caucasian ethnicity black, not white. Let that sink in. Now here's an article from the Washington Post where you have this fellow, I won't even try to pronounce his name, who is black in Russia but white in America. Here it says Russia has historically been far more concerned with its status as Eastern or Western, Asian or European than it is with skin color or scientific understandings of race. The Russian word for black has recently started to be applied to people of term black-skinned, but only as a reluctant adoption of American terminology and in the face of with nigger.
So no matter what, so white people here, right, in Russia they're black, but nigga, you're still fucking nigga in Russia. Woo! from the four corners of this earth to the four corners of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. Woo! Shit! I don't even like doing those woos. Man, it's all right there. Package neatly, lexwill.
No Russian term. Whoa!
Without his permission, but for educational purposes. Sorry about that.
Let me read that again. Rewind. Rewind. The Russian word for black has recently started to be applied to people of African descent as part of a compound term, black-skinned, but only as a reluctant adoption of American terminology and in the face of English speakers' discomfort with nigger, the traditional Russian term. The reluctance stems from the fact that black as a categorical descriptor of human beings is in Russia negative by definition. And it is applied not according to skin color but hair color. Whoa! Say that again. And it is applied not according to skin color but hair color. In Russia, the blacks are the people from the Caucasus.
Shit, dude. So black-haired Caucasian people are blacks to Russians.
Wow. Again, if anything I'm saying is false, please leave it in the comment section below. Let me know. I want this to be wrong. But this is a hard, cold fact. Now let's go to page 135 from the book Black Robes, White Justice. It says the conflict between the blacks and Puerto Ricans has been fed and induced for many years by the police department. The lightest skinned black arrested, if he has an English name, is always described as either black or Negro. From my first trial on, I was constantly amazed to notice that on the forms prepared by the arresting officers, Hispanics were invariably described as white, no matter what their obvious pigmentation might be.
Okay, so you get that? If they're niggas, they're Negro. Period. If they're Afro-Asian descent. You understand that? The conflicts between blacks and Puerto Ricans has been fed and induced for many years by the police department, the municipality. The lightest skinned black arrested, if he has an English name, even if he has this is Puerto Rico, if he has an English name, is always described as black or Negro. From my first trial, I was constantly amazed to notice that on the forms prepared by arresting officers, Hispanics were variable, that means changing, invariable means unchanging, invariably described as white. So no matter what their pigment, from the lightest skin Hispanic to the darkest skin Hispanic, they're always classified as white. No matter that what their obvious pigmentation may be.
Hispanics were invariably described as white, no matter what their obvious pigmentation might be. Here in this article it says, Southern Italians were considered black in the South and were subjected to the Jim Crow laws of segregation. They weren't allowed to marry whites.
Why? Southern Italians, right? Now, where's Sicily? You remember what the Moors did to the Sicilians first? And they were stopped in northern Italy, but in South Italy they fucked their way through, right? When we look at give me a second. This is True Romance. the movie True Romance. Now, I'm using this for educational purposes. You know, they're probably gonna not let you see this video, but
Those Chesterfields now. What's wrong? You got a match? Oh wait, no, I don't bother. I go. You're Sicilian, huh? Sicilian. You know, I read a lot, especially about things, about history. I find that shit fascinating. Here's a fact, I don't know whether you know or not. Sicilians were spawned by niggers.
now, you heard him say Sicilian was spawned by niggas. Now he's about to tell you the true name of the nigger type. Now, when we look at Zondervan's description of Ham, he's a progenitor of the dark-skinned races, not the Negroes. Now, when we understand this, something important to look at. Moors are Amorites, they are Hamites. They are not Negroes. So, Moors are sometimes mistaken for Negroes, just as Ethiopians are sometimes mistaken for Negroes. This is why it's easy to say you're all African American. You're all from Africa. This Bible says you're born in Egypt. It doesn't say which Egypt, to the degree that the layman can see yet. The Egypt that these people promote is in Africa, so they believe you were born in Africa as well. No matter who fathered you. Because by the way they play is wherever you're birthed is the land you're natural to, since they are not indigenous to any soil that's above ground right now.
Come again? No, it's a fact. Yeah. You see, Sicilians have black blood pumping through their hearts. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you see, the Moors conquered Sicily. And the Moors are niggers. See, way back then, Sicilians were like wops from northern Italy. They don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. But the Moors moved in there and, well, they changed the whole country. They did so much fucking with Sicilian women, huh? That they changed the whole bloodline forever. That's why blonde hair and blue eyes became black hair and dark skin. You know.
Okay, so what did he say? They changed the bloodline forever. Those Italians of Sicily were no longer the new births that came up. They were no longer of the seed of the fathers of Kittim or Italy. They then became the seed of what? The Amorites, Hamites.
It's absolutely amazing to me to think that to this day, hundreds of years later, that Sicilians still carry that nigger gene. Now this, I'm quoting history. It's written.
Now listen close. Now, you want to know something that's hidden right in front of your face? Now, when you go to these emojis, right, and you text in a woman, and right, you text in a woman, and when you text that woman, what do you always do? Right? She always used that cat representing her, and you always use this eggplant, right? Now, why do you use all this eggplant all the time? Watch this.
It's a fact. It's written. I love this guy. Your ancestors are niggers. Hey. Yeah. And your great-great-great-great-grandmother fucked a nigger. Oh, yeah. And she had a half nigger kid. Now, if that's a fact, tell me, am I lying? 'Cause you're part eggplant. Hey. You're a cantaloupe.
What did he just do with his hand? He just put his hand up in the erect state, right? Whoops, not back far enough. He called him an eggplant.
Hey.
And then up. That's what, a sign of the penis? A phallic symbol, but with the hand? Eggplant.
You're a cantaloupe.
Now, he doesn't understand why he called him a eggplant. Your great grandfathers were niggers. You're part eggplant. Hey. Saying his penis is bigger because he's now from a different gene pool. He just says he's a cantaloupe because he thinks it has to do with skin color. He called me a dark purple plant, like they call niggas, not understanding why they call niggas the dark purple plant. It is twofold. When Africans are in the sun, they do turn purple. Phoenicians are Canaanites. They're from Africa. That's why they ran around with purple robes.
Here this article says many whites today would have been classified as black in the 1940s.
Now look at all those people with dark hair. And this is what? This is what Hitler was trying to kill, even though Hitler had dark hair. Right? This is what Russians are trying to tell you. Dark hair means that you're of mixed stock. Right? And these people are holding up race mixing signs. They're created from race mixing. Do you see the real? Listen. This is the real. Now, do these people know that the dark races have been mixed? Their fucking ancestors mixed us. Our ancestors purposely chose to mix, and their ancestors force mixed us. And then look, stop race mixing, and all these people have dark hair.
Alright, so in this section I want to discuss the message that a lot of black female celebrities are sending black men, which is, only white men can tame me. Here BET reports how Eve shares how husband tamed her crazy ways. Another website states Eve gushes on marriage to Maximilian Cooper. He tamed me. Here Gossip.com reports that K. Michelle commits to the swirl. I'm not really into black men. Here we have a screenshot of the Facebook exit page with an African-American female running out the door with a European. Here's a book called The Sweetest...
When you stop using Facebook, that's what they give you, right? Hope to see you again soon.
Door with a European. There's a book called The Sweetest Taboo, where a black female says she kneels to him because she wants to. Here we have a popular interracial romance book called Making Babies with Mr. White. And then we have the book Her White Baby. I've heard many people say that black women will abort black babies, but refuse to abort biracial babies. Maybe there's something to it. Here's a YouTube video where a black female says, I like white guys, I like white guys. And then we have another that says, I love Caucasian guys. This one says she has an obsession with white guys. This female says, I love white guys even though they don't like me. This female says, white guys are tasty like a milkshake. Now I do find it odd that black women seem to go natural when they're with a white man, but refuse to go natural when they're with a black man. So here in this video, she titles it, My Boyfriend Likes My Natural Hair. And in this video, she says boyfriend styles her hair. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a black man doing his black girlfriend's hair before. Here's another video where you have a black female that allows her white boyfriend to do her hair. Now here's a quote from the book Swirl, written by Crystal and Karazin. Do not, I repeat, absolutely do not inquire whether you are his first black date or volunteer that this is your first swirl. She goes on to say, you're not looking to have any deep conversations from the beginning. You're looking to build to that place. The relationship at that point cannot tolerate conflict. You don't have enough trust. You don't have enough of a bond with that person to deal with anything that might invoke conflict. It's really about...
Yeah, you should avoid every taboo subject until what? Then you've got something built up, right? Then you've got something to lose once nigger slips out, right? Fuck that shit. Come on.
Staying away from any explosive topics that shows you've got issues.
See? It doesn't show you have issues. It shows this fucking society has issues, and it pours it upon people.
Page 161, she says, the one thing you need to do is educate yourself about his culture. Get the feeling he's hiding you from the people he's closest to? It may not necessarily mean it's because he's ashamed of you, so don't go giving him the it's either me or your family ultimatums too soon. If you're really interested in fostering a nurturing relationship with your ethnic man, do things to be accepted by his culture. Then on page 156 it says, I'm a firm believer of no game, says Kimberly, the stay-at-home mom from Maryland, whose husband, Jonathan, is of Polish and German background. I'm not saying put everything out there on the first date, but I have dated Asian men mostly and didn't have a lot of contact with white men in a dating sense. Even though I was completely open to it, I'd heard all these things that my sisters would say. Oh, white men only use black women for sex. They only go out with the light-skinned women. And my older sister, who is light-skinned herself, was saying, they'll want me, but they won't want you. And I was like, okay. Here's an excerpt from the book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding Black Women by Shahrazad Ali. It says, when black women get with a white man, she may manufacture a complete new set of vowels, which she uses to construct her new, light, and airy proper voice. She irresistibly becomes ever so amused by his jokes and pretends to like the things he does. She becomes an actress of sorts, and she relaxes a bit because the white man does not know the full story of her failure with the black man. Since the white man does not know the ins and outs of black intimacy, he is more tolerant of her, and they both enjoy the novelty. She can wear as much makeup as she desires, and to the white man, this is normal. While a black woman is known to ignore a black man on a street corner, in an elevator, or on the subway, she seems always ready with an eager, appealing smile when a white man, especially one in a suit and tie, tries to make a light conversation with her. She appears to be flattered and falls into her crisp, bright personality. Her smile is sometimes so instant it looks like a flash of sparkling white snow, blushing and appreciative. If she decides to date him later on, she is seen to be overly affectionate in public and on YouTube, she's willing to ignore many of the white man's shortcomings regarding wardrobe, language, hipness, music, car, or job. On page 56, she continues by saying, dating and marrying the white man is another flimsy excuse used to get out of the inevitable submitting to the black man. Alright, so in this section, I want to briefly touch on some black men who are venting on YouTube. Now, I want to make it very clear, these black men claim they're not mad or upset at black women for dating or marrying white men. They claim, however, that it's their job to warn other black men about the bad behavior of black women. And they believe that they can shame black women into behaving a particular way by exposing bad behavior. So now let's take a look at a couple of screenshots. In this video by a YouTuber named The Brother of Logic and Common Sense, he gives a warning to white men about the deplorable behavior of black women. Here in this video, he talks about swirling in the kamikaze mind state of black women. Here we have a YouTuber named David Carroll who dedicates one of his channels to why he blames black women. Here we have a video by Viva Tito Sancho where he says, "Nigger bitches, I command you to eat white dick at once." In this video, he explains why he uses the term nigger bitch. Here we have a YouTuber named The Reluctant Nabi where he says black women have committed treason. In another video, he says white men are getting just as tired of black women. Here we have another YouTuber named O'Shea Duke Jackson, where in this video he says he is done bashing African American women. Now in this section, I want to briefly touch on the idea that the so-called black conscious community has that the black woman is God. So in this movement, they claim that the black woman is God simply because she produces life. The problem is that would qualify all races of women as gods, as other races of women also produce life. I would understand if they said some black women are goddesses or some black women are godly. But this weak attempt to pander to black women for YouTube views and event tickets is very disturbing. My question to these brothers is Lil Kim God? Why is God bleaching her skin and getting plastic surgery? Why is God taking off her crown and putting on someone else's? If you brothers want to uplift black women and boost their self-esteem, then telling her she's God is simply not the remedy. Alright, so in this section I want to speak about positive reinforcement. Where is the positive reinforcement? Now previously I spoke about the Black Woman is God movement, and we spoke about these black men that are crying and that are venting on YouTube, allegedly because they're trying to warn black men and warn white men. They claim they're not trying to shame, they're not trying to embarrass black women or expose them into changing their behavior. That's not what they're trying to do. They're just trying to warn people about it. Now, can you imagine having a child molester, a pedophile, a serial killer on the loose, and instead of trying to stop the person, you warn people about them? Hey, there's a serial killer on the loose. There is a rapist on the loose. You got to be careful, right? You don't actually try to stop the person. You don't actually call the authorities. You just make YouTube videos warning people. Interesting. Now, be that as it may, these people fail to understand that YouTube is a search engine. People only find videos that they search for, and they're only recommended videos based on their search inquiries. So even if someone finds your video about the dysfunctional behavior of black women, it's not going to register because they haven't been through it. If anything, they're going to be offended and label you a misogynist. It's only when men go through the muck and go through the life experience of heartache and breakups do they finally wake up and take the red pill. But until then, YouTube videos and speeches is not going to change their attitude of females. So basically, you men that are making 1,000 videos, you're preaching to the choir. It's going to be the same individuals day after day that come to your videos and give you a thumbs up. Good video, brother. You tell them, bitches. That's it. You're not going to get any new audience, and your videos are not going to be shared. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can actually change a person's behavior. Here I searched behavior modification techniques. Behavior modification is a treatment approach based on the principles of operant conditioning that replaces undesirable behavior with more desirable ones through positive and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement works by presenting a motivating or reinforcing stimulus to the person after the desired behavior is exhibited, making the behavior more likely to happen in the future. Negative reinforcement occurs when a certain stimulus is removed after a particular behavior is exhibited. The likelihood of the particular behavior occurring again in the future is increased because of removing or avoiding the negative consequence. Now, it should be noted that research shows that positive consequences are more powerful than negative consequences for improving behavior. Now, here are 8 ways to change a person's behavior: positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, emotional freedom technique, neuro-linguistic programming, meditation, don't give it attention, or cognitive behavior therapy. Alright, so in this section, we're going to segue to the main attraction. Not. If someone changes their appearance for whatever reason, and then to have someone say they hate themselves, which includes mind, body, and soul, is completely ridiculous. Simply put, most people want what they can't have, or they just don't like certain physical attributes they have, or they want to follow a trend to fit into what the current standard of beauty is. The problem is, people like Lil Kim take things too far. And when a person is unrecognizable and has a history of changing faces, it makes you wonder if that person was replaced.
Alright, so when we watch Conspiracy Dude on a constant, we do understand that he has what is called the replacement theory, that some people get so big that they will not follow their masters, that they get replaced. Well, that's fine. We do have talk of cloning from this channel. Hey, that's fine. But you're not going to find too many more people with a higher intelligence and willingness to not inject themselves into this situation. Now, that's why I take the video and give my 2 cents, injecting myself into this situation. Okay, so the key to me liking CDF is that his thoughts are very intelligent, and they're completely, I wouldn't say completely, there are a lot of main points that are opposite mine, and there are a lot of points I just never even thought of. Well, so let's listen.
Alright, so let's take a look at what happened to Lil Kim. Now, there are a couple of bullets like black women wear weave, white women tan and get lip injections, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, all women are just trying to look good to get the attention of men. It's that simple. Well, let me make a correction there for this user. I believe that women are trying to compete with other ethnicities and also get attention from women more than they're trying to get attention from men, because it's very easy to get the attention of men. I don't think women are trying to look good for men specifically. That's my opinion. You can leave your comment below, but from my research, that is what I've found to be true. Now, another user says racists constantly disrespecting black women, but white women constantly trying to look more black. Do white women hate themselves? Person responds by saying, yeah, it's pretty sad. Black women have been degraded for centuries because we naturally have round asses and full lips, and now when white women get those things, it's considered hot. I think what it comes down to is the fact that most people are unhappy with what God gave them. Shit, if I had a flat ass and thin lips, I wouldn't care to get implants or injections. But it's the same reason why black women get bone straight weave that can't even pass for natural. Everyone wants what they don't have. And I think that pretty much sums up the reasoning behind people getting things that they don't naturally have. They just want what they can't have.
No, I'm going to stop you right there. I disagree. I do not think it has to do with people want what they can't have. We live in the society of get. When you look at a series of photos, how he displays them, and you look at the profile of the women, and one woman has a nose that goes up and hooks in and then goes to the bridge, and it's their ethnicities. They're actually getting their ethnicity. I'm gonna be black back here, blah 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 and blah blah blah, and for the most part, we're gonna listen to him though. But my opinion varies at where I think is key points, you know, because it's my opinion. Inside my head, I think blah blah blah, right? So, you know.
Today's video was brought to you by a donation from a subscriber. She wanted to know, why do white women think they're better than black women? Now, being that this is such a delicate subject, I decided to ask her what was her stance on the topic, and whether she believes in fact that white women are actually better than black women. She replied by saying that black women have gone through so much more physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, and spiritually than white women, and black women have more history than white women. But she doesn't believe either one is better. She went on to say that black women are just stronger, well-versed in hair, skin, body, raising children, and cooking, and most notably, were once queens ruling dynasties. Now, this reminded me of the Lil Kim situation and the "we was kings" mentality that most black Americans have. Now, should the question be, do white women think they're better, or does American society think they're better? It seems that America would rather give a transgender a Woman of the Year award before they give it to a black woman. Even the YouTube Coon of the Year would rather say a white man is sexy before he says that to a black woman. Now, when we look at Lil Kim, she has practically turned herself into a white woman. I've never seen a white woman change themselves into a black woman. Yes, they will get nose jobs. Yes, they will tan and spray themselves brown. Some will even temporarily paint themselves black. Others will get lip injections, butt implants, and even breast implants. But we can still tell it is a white woman. So does this mean that people like Lil Kim hate themselves and want to be white? I don't believe it's that simple. For example, we have black men who perm their hair and even wear weaves. Does that mean they hate themselves? What about the black men that bleach their skins or that are cross-dressers? Does this mean that they hate themselves and want to be white or want to be a woman? Absolutely. Points that I want to discuss. The first is, white women do it too. What about LGBT? Self-hate or self-improvement? Who's black and who's white? He tamed me. Black men venting on YouTube. The black woman is God. Where's the positive reinforcement? A closer look. White women are better. And lastly, my final thoughts. Alright, so in this section, I just want to discuss that white women do not innately fit this.
For this, we'll try to go full screen. No idea how my crappy 10-year-old or older computer will work. Alright, so you see the woman has little nubs on the tip of her nose, so she wanted those taken off.
Standard of beauty that's promoted by the mainstream media. So yes, they will go out and get lip injections, butt injections, breast
Yeah, see, my computer just can't handle that. Hold on.
Breast implants, and even nose jobs, because they have an ideal look that they're trying to attain. It's not because they hate themselves. It's not because they're trying to be black or a different ethnicity. So let's go ahead and take a look at these images. So here we have a picture of Courtney Love, who had a nose job. Here's a picture of Nicole Kidman. Here's a picture of Scarlett Johansson. Here we have Shakira. Here we see Ashley Simpson. Here we have Elsa Pataki. Here we have Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Connelly. And here's a picture of a random woman who got a nose job because she simply didn't like the way her nose looked. Here's another random person. And here's another. So here on this website called Topics, it says, why do white women tan, get butt implants, and lip injections? One user says, wait a minute, I know this one, because they want to be black. Then a user responds by saying, nope, I don't think white women want to be black, no more than black women want to be white. But in this country, the new beauty standard is big booty, big hips, tiny waistline, full lips, long hair, big double D's, and tan skin. So many women are trying to live up to this standard, everybody. But when blacks and whites get into it on this forum, we point out things.
Hi, good morning. I like sitting in this little basement. It's a big basement. I like sitting in this cold basement. It's cold as hell. And pretending I'm watching like a detective, huh? Looking at this stuff from my own little cave. My own little black cave. Do 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 do. Black man. Do 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 do. So today is kind of a special. You guys know how much I like Conspiracy Dude Fury's videos. They're just excellent. I'm not a big fan of the numbers and shit, but you know, if somebody's gonna do them, fine. So today, you know, my opinion varies slightly from everybody's. You know, obviously everybody thinks I'm looking through a fucking crooked glass, and everybody wants to nudge me aside for a few seconds so they can peek through, which is fair, you know. So, you know, I do not have permission to use his video. Please. I want to do this, what happened to Lil Kim, because this is one of the most important videos that hits the so-called black community, which is really the brown community, which is truthfully the Afro-Asiatic community. Alright. I focus on Negro because white man fuck up when he make statue showing Negro Indian. So you think what you want to think, and I'm going to use my little mushy sponge to think what I want to think. And in the meantime, we should all pray for brains, because nobody is above correction. That's why we're all going to face judgment. One way or the other, we're all going to line up for Judgment Day. If he tell you to get out of line and say he already judged you, you know, and so be it. So